Jerry Jones' mantra, as always, you got to ask for the order. And I guess the order he is asking for from his head coach and football team is win me another damn Super Bowl. All right. Jerry looks more relaxed this camp, seems more confident than he has in many years. He's even taking that loose cannon moniker away from Rob Ryan, his defensive coordinator, with some of his comments here in camp. All right, and this is what happens when you're the quarterback of Jerry's Dallas Cowboys. You go Hollywood, and so Romo did, exchanging pleasantries with Ashton Kutcher. Hard to believe, but Tony Romo will be entering his 10th season as a Dallas Cowboy, and he thinks this year just may be different. You always come to training camp, it seems like, and you're going to work on one or two things technically to improve motion, footwork, whatever it is. Do you also bring to camp the idea of how can I improve to get this team a little better?
Absolutely. I think it's not just camp. You started, back in February, really. When I go, I look at a lot of different things. One, what I need to do better. Also, what are other people doing at a very high level, and why are they able to do certain things? It takes a while to assess how to go about the improvement.
Can you overthink it?
No, I think you do all those things on your own in the time, and then you go out, and if they're not natural, you toss them out. You can't, if they can't hold up under the, those situations, then they're not good. And I've had plenty that have. And if you go back and look at 06, 07, you could just look at, mostly just the throwing motion, the footwork, and see a major difference if you wanted to from just an average perspective. But it's all just continuing on its path of getting better.
Go back to that first game. You come in second half against the Giants, and you got a little of everything going on. Throw for 220. It's up and down the field. Yeah. There's fumbles, there's interceptions, there's touchdown passes. And I remember you threw the screen, and you looked over and you said, it's not there, and you pumped it. And then you pumped it again, and then you said, oh, just throw it. And I said, he will never do that as long as he plays again.
Play action, little mobility, deflected in the air, and intercepted on the Pierce pickup.
If you were to go back and look at that tape, and would you just cover your eyes, or?
Not just that game. I think for.
But I mean that particular
play, that
particular screen.
I don't think I've probably done it. You're right. Since then, and, you learn through experiences.
Yeah.
Just at that game, I had no idea what was going on. You're playing in the NFL, and you're there, and you got to get yourself to kind of get locked in to make it seem like it's just out on the practice field.
It was buckle your seatbelt time, wasn't it?
It was time to go play, that's for sure.
You're playing a Sunday night game last year, and I told Al Michaels, I said, Romo is the highest rated quarterback in the fourth quarter in NFL history. And he said, oh, babe, you're crazy. And I said, no, I'm telling you. He puts the stat up.
Highest fourth quarter passer rating in his career among the active guys. Babe Laufenberg, does the radio for them. He was researching that when he was rehabbing, and somehow he said it on his radio show, and Jerry Jones heard about it. He said, is that true?
Why is there this stat that's staring everybody right in the face?
Yeah. And
then there's this perception over here that says, oh, fourth quarter, Romo goes away, he folds, this and that. Why is that perception out there?
I think it still comes down to winning and losing. I mean, it's a football game that takes, we give far too much of the credit, when we end up winning football games. I mean, we play half the game. Literally, half of the game is we're not even out there. So that's the nature of the game that we're in, and that's why you need a football team week in and week out that has a chance. And our team's getting there. We're going to have a football team that's going to be very competitive and has improved since last season. And I'm excited about that and what we've done, to bring in some guys and to improve. And it's a great feeling from a quarterback's perspective.
Do you think Tony Romo would be at the point where he is now? I think acknowledge you can fill in the blank, top 10, top 5, wherever you want to go, without Jason Garrett's tutelage over the last 5 years?
I think Jason has been instrumental in me improving, and I can see things that I wasn't able to do in the past that I've started to over this last year, half a year, and able to do going forward. And that's exciting from a quarterback perspective, to be able to do some things that you might not have been able to do when you were younger.
It's a well-known fact. I've been kind of a Tony Romo supporter really since week 2 of your first training camp. And people think they homer and everything else. And I say, look, the people that I respect Tony Romo's game. And those people would be Roger Staubach and Troy Aikman and Jason Garrett. And I say, look, we've never had a beer together. We never played golf together. I guess which brings me to the next point. Why haven't we? Why have you not invited me out?
Gosh, I didn't know that you were. I didn't know that you were a homer. If someone would have told me, I'd have done this interview 20 more times.
Why are there so many non-believers, or does it just come with the position?
No, I think it's just about winning and losing. It comes down to winning a Super Bowl and to getting your team to play in the games that matter at the end of the year. You know, until you do that, that's exactly the way that's going to go, and that's the way it should be. I'm the same way when I rate other people and other quarterbacks and everything else. I mean, production's nice, things like that, but at the end of the day, we're going to go with the guys who are playing in big games and in Super Bowls, and that's the way that it should be, and I'm glad that it is that way.
You were the 4th highest rated quarterback last year, though. When you look at it, do you say, I played well enough to be a playoff team, I played playoff football?
I don't look at it. I don't go back and say, look what I did. I look at how can I be better than I was last season? How can I improve and be better? How can I help this football team get better? You know, I'll look back when I'm done playing.
You're closer to the end of your career than you are to the beginning. Do these years become a little more precious to you now?
I actually think I'm probably going to end up starting more years going forward than I did up to this point. So, you know, when you look at it that way, I think that every year is very important. And the sense of urgency you have, you know, at this particular moment is as high as ever. I'm excited because I think we have our best football team in quite some time here. And that's exciting, going out on the field knowing that you have a chance to compete each Sunday.
Joining me up on the rooftop here, Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Why don't you just break out and to get back? Come on, Heavy.
You and I could do it. You and I could do it. Are we sure Tony's not getting ready for a game against Philly in November tomorrow instead of a preseason game against Oakland?
Yeah, okay. I'm going to throw this at you because we go back and forth. And
we do.
Yeah. But then I think I may have converted you onto the year that Romo had last year, and he had a great year, and I don't think it gets acknowledged. And you looked at the numbers and the interceptions, and you're like, wow. You know, in 07, he had a better year in 07. He had 19 interceptions. Last year he had 10. Cut him in half. So have I converted Steve Dennis to the year he had, or no?
Well,
it's hard to convert.
I don't think you can say he had a great year when he gave 2 games away.
But he had his best year.
His best year. That you've persuaded me to. But it wasn't a great year because he threw the ball to Revis and he threw 2 pick sixes against Detroit. You can't have a great year and cost your team 2 games.
Tom Brady had 4 interception games. And he did not get the punt block for the touchdown against the Jets. He did not let Mark Sanchez.
But great.
They did not let Mark Sanchez, who they brought in Tim Tebow to compete against.
Romo,
Tim Tebow, for goodness sake.
Okay, here's what I'm afraid of.
Please.
Tony does everything right. I mean, he wants to get better. He works. Nobody works like he does. He gets it. He knows what he's after. He knows. He just told you. He knows he's got to win a Super Bowl. It's like Greg Norman. Greg Norman was the best player in the world on the golf course for more than a decade, but he was a tragic character because he could never win enough majors. He won 2.
But nobody took it away from Norman. Norman gave it away.
That's a good point.
Romo, in the 4th quarter, he's the highest rated quarterback in the history of the NFL in the 4th quarter.
He threw it to Bobby Carpenter, for crying out loud.
That's his buddy. It was a magnanimous. It was a very magnanimous gesture.
You know what I love? You went down memory lane a little bit with Tony there, and I was flying in, Brett Kelly and I flying in, looking at Oakland, and I'm going down memory lane to 2004 when Romo, in the preseason against Oakland here, you know, drove Parcells crazy with time running out. He goes into the end zone when he should have done something else. I can't exactly remember what.
But he scored.
He scored and won the game, 21-20.
Parcells probably wanted to play for overtime or something.
And look at 8 years later, here he is, which makes me want to ask you this. You have sat down and had many chats with Tony in his 9 years. This time, what anything seemed different about him to you?
You know what's funny? I think the position and the media and the pressure of the job, I sense it's beaten him down a little bit. And it's just like you said, nobody's going to acknowledge him as a great player until he wins. And I understand that. He understands that. Everybody understands. But Jerry Jones got it right. They squandered a great year from their quarterback last year. They just squandered it. If they get the same year this year, I'd be thrilled as a head coach, quarterback coach, whatever it is. But I see, you know how Jason Garrett, everybody's saying, hey, Jason Garrett's coming out of a shell. He's being Jason Garrett.
Right.
Because you've known Jason a long time as well. Tony Romo needs to go back to that swashbuckling, not on the field.
He was
but the
fun
guy,
to watch.
Well, but didn't he have more fun? And I understand there's a lot more pressure, and you can't be that same guy. Shouldn't he go back to having fun and being enjoying it?
Yeah, I mean,
Wouldn't you like to see
he's
that?
got a heavy burden on him.
No
though,
question.
And that's part of the deal. I mean, he gets it. Thing I love about him, two things I love about that interview you did. He gets it. He knows what he's after, makes no apologies for it, and secondly, he's going to play 6 more years.
That's right. Hey, how about
I
that?
like that. Yeah.
The owner likes that too. All right, Steve's going to come back here in just a minute. We'll talk a little bit about Rob Ryan coming up. Did you, Darvish, get things back on track for the Rangers this afternoon at the ball?